What is going on, you guys? I hope you're all having an embraceful day. Today we're going to be working on the TC. We're going to be working on the Rocket Bunny kit for the TC. And what we're going to be doing today, we're actually going to be making our own bumper cover. So in order to do that, we're going to be using the modeling clay that you guys see back here. It should be the last video that we do, or the last thing that we need to do in order to get the fronts done. And just to give you guys a quick understanding, I've never worked with modeling clay ever. Most of the stuff that I've ever done on the Rocket Bunny, I've never tried ever. So this is a new experience working on the with the clay. So it should be a fun one. I don't even know what I need. I'm pretty sure I just need a knife to scrape it down, but we'll find out once we get into it. So we're gonna get started. So I think that's a fail in my books. I did do the time lapse for a bit, but then I just took it off because it just, as you guys can tell, it doesn't really look that great. I think the easiest thing to do is just to take it off and then do it a different way. Or I might even try using expanding foam, because I know there's other different types of ways of doing this. You can use expanding foam, you can use modeling clay. I'm sure people use cardboard and stuff like that, or metal if you want to use metal. But for me, I think that's it. I'm not going to use the modeling clay. Alright, so as many of you guys know, the clay method that I used at first didn't work. Well, not for me, it didn't work. So I'm left with two options. Using foam, expanding foam, trying it out with that, or buying the V2 Rocket Bunny kit. Before I actually go and spend my money on buying the V2 kit, I think I'm just going to try the expanding foam method. So I bought some expanding foam. I bought some cardstock, and I'm just going to be making my own template right here and just filling it in with expanding foam. It looks a lot better than the clay, to be honest, but there's still a lot of work that needs to get done to this. But this is the beginning. We're gonna get it done though. As you guys can tell, it looks pretty good. It's not that bad. Can't really tell right there, but if I do it this way, I'm gonna be wasting a lot of time, and that's not much that I have since I worked throughout the whole entire week. I don't have enough time to put Bond over this, let this dry, and then keep doing it over and over again until I get the shape that I want. So for me, I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm just gonna buy the V2 flares. And the reason why I'm gonna buy the V2 flares is because this is the way that I think of it. It's easier for me to modify something that's already been made to make it fit than to make something from scratch, if you know what I mean. It just depends what it is. I'm just gonna rip this off, all of it off, and we're gonna start on the rears. So we're gonna get started on the cutting on the rear quarter panel. I listed a couple things right here that we actually need to get done. The first thing we actually have to get done is we gotta remove the rear bumper, which I've never removed before, believe it or not. The owner that had this car before me did put on the Kaale rear bumper that it has right now, and the reason for that is because my car is a salvage title and it did get rear-ended on the back. So I guess that's why he kind of put the Kaale rear bumper instead of getting the RS3 lip, because I'm pretty sure you can't find RS3 lips anymore. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to cut the rear quarter panel. Once we get the rear quarter panel cut, we're going to start lowering the car, because I want to lower it a little bit more, since if you guys have been following the Rocket Bunny videos for a while, we lowered the front and we haven't lowered the rear, and it's kind of sitting a little bit too much in the front lower than what it is in the rear. So I kind of want to level it out a little bit. So I want to lower the rear what it is right now, maybe half of what it is. Once we get that lowered, what we're going to do is, well, not tonight, but I'm going to go get the car welded tomorrow to a shop. I'm going to go take it so they can weld the second layer of skin to the first layer of skin, because I'm not going to be welding that. So all we have to do tonight is just get it ready, get them all prepared and everything ready, just so when I take it to the shop tomorrow, all they have to do is just weld it, and then I'll bring it back to the house and then cut all the excess off. So once we get that done, all we have to do next is we're going to trim off the rear bumper a little bit. That way it fits with the curve of what we're trimming on the rear quarter panel. Once we get the rear bumper all trimmed down, we're going to be installing the quick latches, which are the same things that I have on the front bumper. So it's been about 2 weeks later that I finally have the rear quarter panel welded. The tabs are already cut off, and the reason why I waited about 2 weeks is because when I finished cutting this up, I went, like the next day, I went to a shop and I went to go get it priced to see how much they would charge me. And when I went, they said they would charge me $250 just to weld all this. Now, I don't know about you guys, but for me, that sounds like a lot of money just to weld this. I mean, I wasn't asking for something that's going to be pretty, because it's still going to be grinded down. It's still going to be covered by the fender flare. But $250 was too much for me. And since my dad did have a friend that could weld this for me, he didn't have time at the moment. So I had to wait about 2 weeks in order for him to get this done. Which I don't mind waiting the 2 weeks, because I saved myself $250. Even though I did pay the guy some money, but not $250. I was able to get this done without paying so much money, which I'm super stoked about, because I could use that money for other car parts or other things that I need to buy, supplies, sandpaper, and all that stuff. The important thing is that I finally got it done. It's all welded up and everything. The only thing left to do is I still need to grind it down a little bit, and put some epoxy over it. And once we put the epoxy, sand it down and put some primer. That way it doesn't rust. So I think that's where I'm going to end today's video. I'm still working on a couple other things, like getting the rear bumper hole, the exhaust hole filled in, getting the actual front bumper completely done in order to get it primered. And then start working on the next Rocket Bunny video of getting the rear fender flares fitted onto the rear quarter panel. So there's still a lot that needs to get done, but I'm pretty sure the rear quarter panel, well, the rear fender flares are going to be a lot easier to do than the front, since we've already had experience working on the front. The rear, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot easier. I'm really excited. I'm really stoked to get started on this again. And like I said, there's still a lot of things that need to get done, but I'm trying my best in order to get this done as quick as possible. And I want to get this done right the first time. I don't want to, go have everything done, have to go back and redo something. So I'm kind of taking my time, but kind of hurrying at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm trying to balance it out in order to get this done as quick as possible and as right as possible, But I think that's where I'm going to end today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll just catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and embrace yourself.